You know that feeling when you're trying to tell a story and you're struggling to explain two things that happened at the exact same time? It can make everything sound, I don't know, a little flat, right? Kind of disconnected. Well, today, we're going to fix that. We're going to make your stories flow perfectly by mastering just two simple but super powerful words.
And this question right here, this is the secret to the whole thing. Seriously, every great story you've ever heard answers this. It paints a picture of what was going on in the background, and then it drops in that one specific event that changed everything. If you can nail this, you go from just listing facts to telling a really captivating story.
So, let's look at these two sentences. I was boiling noodles, and I burned my hand. I mean, they're fine. They're separate facts. We can tell they're related, sure, but they don't have that narrative punch, you know? There's no real connection. So, how do we link them together to create one single clear moment in time?
Well, the answer is something I like to call the interruption rule. It's a really simple but powerful idea. You have one long ongoing action that gets interrupted by a shorter, more sudden one. Understanding this one concept is the absolute key to telling a clear and interesting story about the past.
So first up, we have the background action. For this, we use what's called the past continuous tense. The easiest way to think about it is like, it's the setting of the scene. It's the was boiling or the were driving part of your story. It was already happening. It's the answer to what was happening. And then, bam, you have the interrupting action. This is that short, sudden event that happens right in the middle of everything else. And for this, we use the simple past tense. This is your I burned my hand moment, or the we heard the news part. It's the answer to what happened.
Okay, so now let's put it all together with our first example. I burned my hand while I was boiling noodles. See, now it's a real story. The background action, was boiling noodles, is now perfectly linked to the interruption, burned my hand. The whole picture is just so much clearer, isn't it?
So how do we actually build these sentences? Well, we've got two main tools in our toolbox to make this connection. The words when and while. Let's break down how to choose the right one for your story. Now, what's really cool is the subtle difference between these two. The word while puts the focus on that long, continuous action. So, he fell while he was rock climbing. Here, the rock climbing is the main point of the scene. But if you use when, it shifts the focus to the short, interrupting action. So, when he fell, he was rock climbing. All of a sudden, the fall is the star of the show. It's the exact same event, just with a slightly different storytelling focus.
All right, that's enough theory. You know the best way to learn this stuff is by actually doing it. So let's put this new knowledge to the test with a few quick exercises. You ready? Let's do it.
Okay, here's the first one. Blank Lucas was working. He checked his phone. So, think about it. Which is the long action, which is the short interruption, and which word, when or while, fits best here?
Go ahead and pause for a second if you need a moment to think about it. No pressure. Okay, did you get it? The answer is while. And why? Because the sentence is set up to focus on that long background action of working. Checking his phone was just the quick little interruption that happened during that time. Nicely done if you got that one.
Ready for another? Here we go. We were driving home, blank, we heard the news. Again, think about the focus. What's the main event that this sentence is trying to highlight?
Feel free to pause again and think it over for a moment.
And the correct word is when. See, driving home is the background, but the sentence is really structured to emphasize the moment of interruption, that exact moment we heard the news. That's the key event, so we use when.
Okay, last practice round, and we're going to switch up the style. This time, I'm giving you two separate sentences. I broke my arm, and I was playing football. Your job is to combine them into one single flowing sentence using either when or while.
Go ahead and try to build that sentence in your head. Pause here and give it your best shot. And there it is. I broke my arm while I was playing football. We've connected the short interruption, broke my arm, to the longer background activity, was playing football. Now, you could also say, when I broke my arm, I was playing football. But while just feels really natural here, doesn't it? See? You're totally getting the hang of this.
And just like that, you have the tools. You understand the interruption rule, and you know exactly how to use when and while to connect past actions. So it's time to take this new skill and go tell your stories with way more clarity and impact.
So, let's do a super quick recap. What are the key takeaways? Just remember this. Your long background action, that's the past continuous. The short, sudden event that interrupts it, that's the simple past. And to connect them, use while if you want to focus on the background, and you use when if you want to highlight that interruption. That's the whole strategy right there.
So I want to leave you with one final thought, and I'm going to ask you this question using the very grammar we just covered. What were you doing when you learned something new today? Think about it, because now you have the perfect way to answer. Thanks so much for tuning in.